there, welcome to our ITIL Full Course by Simplilearn. What if you could be one who keeps your company ahead of the curve no matter how fast technology changes? Now imagine having the skills to make that happen. That's exactly what Simplilearn's ITIL course is all about, helping you become that IT service management expert everyone turns to. So whether you're just getting started or a pro wanting to level up, this course has something for you. You'll master ITIL best practices and learn how to build services that are not only reliable but also efficient and perfectly in tune with your company's need. We'll cover all the core topics like incident and problem management, asset management, CRM, and the entire service lifecycle, from strategy and design to transition and continuous improvement. Sounds like a lot? Don't worry, we have got you covered. And that's not all. We'll also dive into the latest tools in IT like SIEM, which means Security, Information and Event Management, IAM, which stands for Identity and Access Management, and even how to use generative AI for leaders. Plus, we will prepare you with everything you need to crush the ITIL exam and get certified with confidence. And by the end of this course, you'll be ready to lead IT transformations and make a real impact at work. So are you ready to dive in? Let's get started now. Also, if you are interested in advancing your career in IT service management, the ITIL 4 Foundation Certification Training is the perfect opportunity for you. ITIL is the industry-leading framework for managing IT services, and with this course, you will gain essential skills to improve service delivery, enhance customer satisfaction, and streamline operations. This certification training is designed for IT professionals looking to boost their service and management expertise. With a 100% exam pass guarantee, 22 PDUs, 30 plus quizzes, and 4 mock tests, this course provides comprehensive learning resources, including real-life case studies and assessment. You'll have access to official people certification materials, exam fees, and ebooks, all included in the course fee. So what are you waiting for? Hurry up and enroll now, and you can find the course link below.
Hi guys, this is Rahul from Simplilearn, and today we're going to answer the question, what is ITIL? Now ITIL is a set of detailed practices for IT service management that focuses on aligning IT services to the needs of your business. So here's what we'll be covering today. Firstly, we'll talk about why ITIL is so important, what exactly it is, the history of ITIL, some of the advantages of ITIL, the types of ITIL versions, and ITIL certificates. So now let's answer the question, why is ITIL so important? So now let's understand this better by taking into consideration a conversation. Here we have two friends, John and Jim, talking to each other about ITIL. So Jim asks how we can opt for a holistic approach in the IT industry. By this, he means that instead of taking each of the components in the IT industry separately, how can he take them as a whole, or how can we see it as a whole? That's when John says that earlier it was difficult, but now it isn't. All of that was possible with the help of ITIL. With it, businesses could collaborate with the IT team so that they could deliver IT services to the stakeholders. Jim is really interested and wants to know more about the benefits of ITIL. So some of the benefits of ITIL are reduced IT costs, enhanced IT services, improved productivity, improved return on investment, improved customer satisfaction, better management of business risk and service disruption, and improved resource utilization. Now, we're going to talk about what exactly ITIL is. ITIL stands for Information Technology Infrastructure Library. It helps all organizations to deliver IT services using the most efficient methods. It helps businesses to improve service levels and reduce the cost of IT operations. Now here, service levels has a different meaning. It basically focuses on how an organization maintains IT services for customers, as well as it controls various activities involved in a process. Activities like planning, designing, delivering, deploying, and managing services. Now the main goal of ITIL is to improve efficiency and achieve predictable service delivery. At the same time, a major requirement is to achieve high service quality. Now let's talk about the history of ITIL. ITIL's first version was introduced in 1989 to standardize IT service management. To provide for a uniform structure for service delivery, ITIL's second version was introduced in 2001. In 2007, ITIL's third version was introduced. Now this aimed to improve ITIL's service lifecycle by introducing a new feature of feedback looping. Aiming to clarify the processes of ITIL's third version, a new version of ITIL v3 was upgraded and released in 2011. In 2019, ITIL's fourth version was introduced. It provided a flexible as well as integrated system for the effective management of IT-enabled services. Now let's talk about the benefits of ITIL. Now it provides greater reliability, it improves the decision-making process, you have a greater return on investment, the quality of service is much better, and it's also cost efficient. Now let's talk about the different types of ITIL. So ITIL has 5 revisions, ITIL v1 to v4. Now let's talk about the first version of ITIL. ITIL v1 talks about processes that are involved in service support such as help desk management, change management, and software distribution. Organizations and government agencies around the world began adopting the framework in the early 90s to improve their IT services and delivery capabilities. The first version consists of 4 major concepts: availability management, capacity management, contingency management, and cost management. First, let's talk about availability management. We all know that in an organization there are several IT services. These could include infrastructure, processes, roles, and much more. Now, availability management ensures that these are available based on the business requirement. Next, we have capacity management. Now, if there are any performance-based issues, be it in services or resources, it's handled by capacity management. Next, we have contingency management. Now, with this, you're able to identify vulnerabilities and make sure that such incidents don't happen again. And finally, we have cost management. With this, you're able to deliver as well as manage cost-effective IT assets and resources. Next up, let's have a look at the second version of ITIL, ITIL v2. Now, this version of ITIL was published in the year 2001. It focused on the removal of duplicate entries, helped improve the consistency of topics, and inclusion of new IT concepts. Some of the topics that were covered in ITIL v2 were problem management, release management, incident management, and much more. ITIL v2 consists of 2 major concepts. The first one is service support. With this, you're delivered processes so that you can control service interruptions. Now let's talk about service delivery. Now this provides a set of principles, policies, as well as constraints which can be utilized for designing, building, and deploying services that are delivered by service providers. Now one thing you should keep in mind is that the second version of ITIL did not have an organized service lifecycle, unlike the version 3 that we're going to talk about very soon. Like I said, now let's talk about version 3 of ITIL. Now this version of ITIL was published in 2007. It adopted more of a lifecycle approach to service management with a greater emphasis on IT business integration. Now this is another upgrade and consists of 26 processes and functions. Now this version consists of 5 major sections. Let's have a look at each of these sections. Firstly, we have service strategy, service design, service transition, service operations, and continual service improvement. First off, let's have a look at service strategy. Now, this is the process where you understand what the client's requirements are. What does the client want from your business? Secondly, we have service design. Now, this aims so that you can design IT services in an effective as well as efficient manner. In the third step, we have service transition. With this, you can plan, build, test, and deploy the services into the customer's environments. Our fourth step involves service operations. Now, this ensures that access to IT services is only given to authorized users and the issue of service failure is minimized. And finally, we have continual service improvement. Now, this makes sure that the IT services are always aligned to the business's needs. Now, let's have a look at the 2011 update of ITIL version 3. Now, this edition of ITIL is an improvement over the previous edition. It aimed to resolve the mistakes as well as inconsistencies in the text and diagrams across the suite. Now, this version underwent a lot of redesigning and use of a larger font intended to make ITIL a little more approachable to the reader. This version majorly highlights the service strategy volume. Now, this version, as I said before, doesn't have a lot of changes but has a few important updates. Firstly, let's have a look at service strategy. Now, in this version, a new service called Service Strategy Manager was introduced. This was for people who created as well as implemented IT strategies that aligned with the business requirements. Secondly, we have service design. Now, this implemented technical standards to the service design process as well as coordinated all the activities across all designs. Next, we have service transition. So this basically introduced something known as effective change management, which minimized the chances of service failure. Now for the fourth major concept, we have service operations. Now the latest update of service operation provides as well as maintains the processes for effective as well as efficient handling of service requests. And finally, we have continual service improvement. Now, with a clear and concise 7-step model, you're introduced to the improvement process. Now, these 7 steps are identifying the strategy for improvement, defining what exactly you will measure, gathering the data, processing the data, analyzing this information, presenting and using the information, and implementing improvement. And now we're at the current version of ITIL, ITIL V4. Now, the main goal of ITIL V4 is to help all organizations deliver IT services using the most effective methods. Now, ITIL can be utilized with a number of different frameworks such as Agile, Lean, and DevOps. Now, ITIL 4 consists of 2 major components, the 4 dimensions model and the ITIL service value system. Now, let's have a look at the 4 dimensions model. Firstly, we have organizations and people. So people in the organization need to understand what their roles and responsibilities are. They need to have a clear understanding of how their role adds value to the organization. Then we have information and technology. This includes information, knowledge, techniques, and technologies that are required for service management. Next, we have partners and suppliers. So this basically sets up contracts and other agreements between the organization and their partners. So here there's a focus on the organization's relationship with businesses like the ones that are involved in design, deployment, delivery, support, and the continual improvement of services. And finally, we have value streams and processes. Now, a value stream is basically a series of steps that an organization follows so that they can create as well as deliver products or services to a consumer. Now, a well-defined process can greatly improve productivity within or across organizations. So it's very important that an organization address all of these 4 different dimensions to ensure that high service quality is maintained. Now let's have a look at the service value system. Now this is a set of activities that are performed by an organization so that they deliver a valuable output to the end users or consumers. Now the SVS includes elements such as guiding principles, governance, service value chain, continual improvement, and practices. So first let's have a look at guiding principles. Now these are a set of principles that help in providing a comprehensive understanding or a series of steps of how an organization should manage a service. Secondly, we have governance. Now this is responsible for controlling as well as monitoring the organization. It can adapt to the guiding principles or it can define its own set of principles. Next, we have service value chain. Now this is a set of activities that a business performs so that they can provide a valuable product or service to its consumers. Now we have continual improvement. Now this ensures that IT services are continuously aligned to the customer's expectations. And finally, we have management practices. These are 34 management practices that are designed so that an organization is able to achieve its goals. Now these practices are divided into 3 major categories. Firstly, we have general management practices, service management practices, and technical management practices. Now let's talk about ITIL certifications. Now it's not only necessary that you learn about ITIL, it's very important that you get certified in it. Now ITIL has its own certifications. Firstly, we have the foundation certification, which is an entry-level certification. It includes all the concepts of ITIL service lifecycle and service management practices. After which you can take the next level exam, which is the practitioner certification. Now this is a higher level examination which aims to increase the ability of the individual who's writing the test to adopt and adapt ITIL to their organization. Then we have the intermediate certification, which helps an individual understand how to manage and coordinate the ITIL practice areas. Now one thing you should note is that if you're preparing for the certification, you need to have a minimum of 2 years of experience in IT service management. Next up, we have the expert level certification, which covers the depth of ITIL processes and practices across all ITIL disciplines. And now for the final level, which is the master level certification. Now here an individual is able to explain advanced methods of ITIL techniques and management practices. Now to achieve this certification, you need to have a minimum of 2 years of experience in the IT service management.
The IT landscape is constantly evolving, demanding a flexible and adaptable approach to IT service management. ITIL 4 Foundation provides easy to follow best practices to help companies manage their IT services and meet their goals. As of 2023, over 2 million people worldwide have earned their ITIL certifications, showing how important this is. Getting ready for an ITIL 4 Foundation exam can be both exciting and a bit stressful. So whether you are an experienced IT professional or just starting out, knowing the basics of ITIL 4 is a key. This video will help you with the important exam questions and answers with explanations so you can confidently show what you know. We will be covering 20 ITIL 4 Foundation exam questions that will definitely help you on your journey. Each question will come with a clear and detailed explanation, ensuring you understand the concepts thoroughly. So stay tuned until the end of this video, as we will also share some useful tips and strategies to boost your confidence and help you succeed in your ITIL 4 Foundation exam.
Craving a career upgrade? Subscribe, like, and comment below. Dive into the link in the description to fast-track your ambitions. Whether you're making a switch or aiming higher, Simplilearn has your back.
Also, if you are aiming for ITIL certification, our ITIL 4 Foundation Certification Training course by Simplilearn is your perfect path. You will learn the basics of ITIL 4 framework, understand key concepts, and get to know important service lifecycle terms. Plus, you will earn 19 PDUs through self-paced learning, challenge yourself with 30 chapter and quizzes, and dive into 2 industry case studies. You will also see how ITIL 4 has grown to include modern technologies and methods. Enroll today and start your journey towards ITIL mastery. The course link is in the pinned comments and description box. Alright, so let's start with the first question, which is: which practice is responsible for moving new or changed components to live or other environments? So this is the question, and now I'll be telling you the options. So option A is release management, option B is deployment management, option C is change management, and option D is supplier management. So you can pause the video now, because we'll be answering the correct option, and then we will be telling you the explanation of it. So if you want to pause the video, you can, and now we'll be answering the correct option. So this is the question, and now the correct option for this question is option B, that is deployment management. So the deployment management practice is responsible for moving new or changed components to live environments, ensuring they are properly installed and configured. It focuses on the actual deployment process. Release management, on the other hand, plans and schedules these changes, but deployment management does the actual moving. So yeah, the correct option is B, that is deployment management. Alright, so now let's move on to the next question, which is question number 2. Which of these activities is carried out as a part of problems management? So let's have a look at the options now. Option A is creating incident records, B, diagnosing and resolving incidents, option C, escalating incident to a support team for resolution, and option D is trend analysis of incident records. So now you can again pause the video if you want. So we will be proceeding with the correct option. So the correct option of this question is option number D, that is trend analysis of incident records. So the problem management focuses on identifying and managing the root cause of incidents to prevent recurrence. So creating incident records, that is option A, this is a part of incident management, not problem management. Then diagnosing and resolving, that is the option number B. This is also a part of incident management, where the goal is to restore normal surface operation or as quickly as possible. And escalation incidents to a support team for resolution, that is the option number C. This is a function of incident management to ensure incidents are resolved promptly. And then the option number D, that is the trend analysis of incident records, which is the correct option. So this part of problem management, where historical incident data is analyzed to identify patterns and underlying problems leading to the implementation of permanent fixes. So yeah, the correct option is option number D. Alright, now moving on to the question number 3, that is, what operating module outlines the key activities required to respond to demand and facilitate value realization through the creation and management of products and services? Options are continual improvement, service value chain, guiding principles, practices. Yeah. Alright. So the correct option for this question number 3 is B, service value chain. So the service value chain outlines the key activities required to respond to demand and create value through products and services. It includes activities like planning, improving and engaging, designing also, and delivering supporting. So these activities work together to transform inputs into valuable outputs, ensuring value is co-created with stakeholders. Alright, now coming to the next question of ITIL 4 Foundation exam, which is, so what is a normal change? Alright, so now coming to the options, which are a change that doesn't need risk assessment because the procedure has been pre-authorized. Option B, a change that needs to be accessed, authorized and scheduled by a change authority. Option C, a change that does not need risk assessment because it is required to resolve an incident. And option D, a change that is routine in nature, is fully documented, and the risks are well understood. So the correct option of this question is option number B. So normal change requires a thorough assessment, authorization, and scheduling by a charge authority to manage its risk and ensure successful implementation. Unlike standard changes, which are pre-authorized, and emergency changes, which are implemented quickly to resolve incidents, normal changes, and follow the full of change management process to evaluate the potential impacts. So yeah, option B, that is a change that needs to be access authorized, is the correct option. All right, coming to question number 5, which is what is not a phase in problem management? All right, so the options are problem identification, problem control, error control, problem classification. So now the correct option for this question number 5 is problem classification. So why? So the problem management typically involves the following phases. Problem identification, that is detecting and logging problems to prevent future incidents. Then problem control, analyzing problems to identify root cause and prioritize resolution efforts. Then error control, that is managing known errors and implementing permanent solution to prevent recurrence. Then problem classification. It is not considered a distinct phase in the problem management process. It may be a part of identifying and analyzing problems, but it is not a standalone phase. So yeah, option D, that is problem classification, is the correct option. All right, coming to question number 6, which is your smartphone. It is a situational again. Yeah, so your smartphone isn't working properly. You call the toll-free number for your service provider support center. Then which practice would you reach that serves as the entry point for all contact between the service provider and its users? All right, coming to the options. Option A is problem management, option B is service request management, option C is service desk, and option D is incident management. You can keep in mind what we already answered in the previous. You can also answer based on that. So now we will be proceeding with the answer. That is the correct option. So yeah, option number C, that is service desk. So the service desk is the practice that serves as the entry point for all contact between the service provider and its users. It handles communication for incidents, service requests, and general inquiries, acting as a single point of contact. When you call the support center for help with your smartphone, the service desk is the practice you interact with first. So option C, that is service desk, is the correct option. Coming to question number 7, which is which service management dimension is focused on the communication system and knowledge bases used by employees? You can have a look at the question first. Now we will be proceeding with the options, which is information technology, organization and people, partners and suppliers, value streams and processes. So question is which service management dimension is focused on communication systems and knowledge bases used by employees? So pick the correct option according to you. You can also pause the video as I previously said. Alright, so the correct option of this question is option number A, that is information technology. So the information technology dimension of a service management focuses on the tools, systems and knowledge bases used by employees to deliver and support services. This includes communication systems, IT infrastructure and data management, which are crucial for effective service delivery and support. Alright, coming to question number 8 now, which is the next question. So it is again a situational based, like you are working as a part of an improvement initiative and your team would like to release a new module into the existing customer relationship management system. Which type of change should you initiate? So we have 4 options, that is standard, B normal, C emergency and D routine. Now you can pick the correct option according to you. Alright, proceeding with the correct option, that is option B, that is normal. So a normal change is the appropriate type for releasing a new module into the existing customer relationship management, that is CRM system. Normal changes require a full assessment, authorization and scheduling by a change authority, ensuring that the new module is properly evaluated for potential risk and impacts before the implementation. Standard changes are pre-authorized, routine changes like emergency changes are for urgent issues,